Alright, zip on through this. I was hoping this song played through. I wanted to hear what it sounded like if I just stuck next to it. This is the next song on the iPod. Chino Rodriguez, Maestros D Kung Fu. One of my foster kids really loved that song. Funny that it played. The very best of the Doors. Not going to say much about it because I showed Essential Doors the other day. Essential Michael Jackson, 2 discs. Not much to say about that. It's Michael Jackson. Love Michael Jackson. Vampire Weekend. Picked this up. I think I wanted to listen to it with my wife. Never got around to it. Don't know that much about it. Sorry to say. Let me turn this music down. I don't want it to show through if it's not going to show through good. And the copyright police at YouTube's not going to let me play it. So, Foreigner. I really don't know that much about Foreigner. You know, these are random. Dio, Lock Up the Wolves. I think this is Lock Up the Wolves. No, this is Dream Evil. I actually like this album, like Dio a lot. He has, the last few albums he came out with before he passed were progressive. I like those a lot. I wish I could remember the names of them. Dream Evil was not a highly regarded album. It came after the one with Holy Diver on it. And the one before, you know, the first two were really good. Then they kind of went into mediocrity. I still really like this album. The song on here I like the most. I like Sunset Superman and All the Fools Sailed Away. I think this album's good. It's brought down by a couple cheesy, corny songs. I still think it's pretty good. Like Dio a lot. You know, wish I could say more. For some reason I feel like I'm in a hurry. Porcupine Tree, The Incident. This is Steven Wilson's band. This is not his best album. All the good stuff I have downloaded. I have a couple on record. But this one right here is pretty good. It's his very last one before Steven Wilson left the band. Steven Wilson was the leader guitar player and most, you know, wrote most of the compositions. And they had a lot of good albums. This one's on Roadrunner Records. It's actually, and it's a double disc. It's actually pretty good, but his best one was Fear of a Blank Planet. Their best one was Fear of a Blank Planet, in my opinion. That one was really good. A burn. I mentioned these burns the other day. I went to a jazz concert, and somebody said, hey, I want to give you some burns. And then when I went out to his car, he said, actually got a lot of burns I'm just trying to get rid of if you want them. This is Ella Fitzgerald on Verve. Love Ella Fitzgerald. It's nice of him to mock up this stuff. Most of the ones he gave me had mock-up covers. Neat to have. You know, neat to listen to for some music you don't have to pay for. This is My Bloody Valentine. Love My Bloody Valentine. It is a genre of music that a lot of people don't know about. This pop music. Synth pop, dream pop, but the real name of it is shoegaze. It's international dream poppy music. The best band is Mew, M-E-W. This is a really good album. My Bloody Valentine came out with a couple of them. They're really good. They're not my favorite shoegaze. I like Van Ski a lot, and Mew is my favorite. Queen, Night at the Odeon. I need to listen to this. Their live stuff is really good, and this has a lot of songs on it. Hopefully the songs aren't too short. You know, I need to listen to this. Intrigued, very intrigued. Talking Heads. Could never get into them. Didn't understand why the singer always talked the way he did. This is one of their better albums. The name of it's Naked. You know, it's later than the other stuff that was popular. Queen, Night at the Opera. Everybody knows this album. It's good. I like their earlier, heavier stuff better, but everything that they do, I like. Nothing that they do I really love. Everything they do, I like. I'll push this back some. I think I can do better if I push this back. I noticed yesterday that the might have been a little bit too close. I picked a few records up at Goodwill one day, and I saw this laying out and bought it for my daughter. I like the music on here. I went and saw the movie in the theater with my daughter. They got the new one out. I don't remember exactly what's on here, but it's good music. Lies my teacher told me that weren't in a textbook. This is a book kind of like Howard Zinn's History of the United States, where they talk about real history, not the fake BS that you hear about in school. I remember in school there was a little bit of stuff in there that was true. They wanted to talk about the slave traders a lot and things like that. Really good for them to do that when I was in school in Florida. Now I live in the Midwest now, so I doubt they teach that at all. I think they're more into white privilege, so to speak. I posted a video on Facebook of the guy that I'm going to start crying if I think about it because it's just so sad, but he was killed by police officers. I have a whole lot of respect for police officers. That's a hard job. I don't want anybody to get me wrong. The stuff that I had to quit reading the comments because the comments that I saw on there were what people were saying was just so incendiary. Just really friends of mine that live in Arkansas will say some just truly divisive stuff. It's really sad. Don't want to get too much more into that. I'll start crying. It was such a sad video. Ugh, man. Styx, Pieces of Eight. This is a good album, not their best. In This Air, I think Paradise Theater is definitely my favorite. The one with, and is this one it? I don't think this one's it. Oh yeah, this is the one with Blue Collar Man. Blue Collar Man is one of my favorite songs by them. In That Air. Don't know what book on tape this is. Kind of fell apart. Looks like it's got a few different books on tape. The Sorrow of Empires. I can't remember the name of this particular author, but he had 3 books out. They were really interesting. Kind of talked about the, where the U.S. was going after the Iraq War. Those are old, that's a 15-year-old book at least. Kiss, Love Gun. Kiss is very sexist, misogynistic. They did a lot for rock and roll. They did a lot for heavy metal. I think that they are kind of slandered in the fact that they did so much but didn't get credit for some of the stuff that they did. But on top of that, I don't even really like them. But they started a lot of the heavy metal stuff. The makeup stuff was, people in black metal started doing that. Insane Clown Posse started doing that. There's a lot of real catchy songs on here. Christine 16, another just really insipid song, but it's catchy. You got to admit that it's, Plaster Caster. You're talking about a plaster of his, that's just disgusting stuff. I need to hook this up with a CD out in my car, Invisible Touch by Genesis. Love Invisible Touch, love, Tony Banks. Actually, from what I understand and reading articles and watching interviews about this, Phil Collins wanted to make this a lot more progressive, and that's why they put that last song on there, The Brazilian, which is an instrumental. Domino is progressive. It's a lot better than people think, and supposedly Tony Banks was the one, which is their keyboard player, their longtime keyboard player, had been with the band the longest, was the one that wanted to make it a pop album. That's supposedly, there were still some really good songs, the pop songs. Every song on this is great. I mean, I can talk about every one of them. Tonight, 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 This Is the World We Live In. Those songs are incredible. I should do a video just on that album. It's one of those that my parents recorded for me and gave it to me for Christmas. Animals, showed this yesterday. There's another copy of it. It's just a, I had a lot more albums, a whole lot more books on CD. 7 Highly Habits of Effective People, not bad. Just this one, Got Lost in the Flood. And it's got King James New Testament in it. I really like the Bible. I like the stories. I believe in what I call the Messiah. I'm hugely into it. But I don't like organized religion by any stretch of anybody's imagination. What they do is horrid. This is AliceNChains Facelift. This was actually a really good album. I bought it when it came out, or close to when it came out, because they had that music video, Man in the Box. But I can hear the songs in my head, just haven't heard this in so long, but they're just really catchy riffs, really raunchy. They were underrated. Their guitar player was really good, Jerry Cantrell. He did some good solo albums. Love it a lot. Love their singer, Lane Stanley, who passed away. I think it's underrated stuff, kind of in a way. People know what it is, and their stuff that came out later on was not as good and more poppy, but still good. But the first 2 albums, Dirt and that one, Party with Punta Maya, some Latin stuff, nowhere near good Latin stuff. I mean, it's listenable, and that's about all I can say about it. They came out with a whole bunch of these, just an array of different artists on them, and none of the artists I really like. But at the same time, none of it's really good. This is a burn. I need to listen to it. I called it Salsa Buena. As a matter of fact, I'm going to set that over to the side, and when I go to get dinner, I'm going to listen to that because I'm looking for some good salsa. I have some salsa in the car. I must have made a few of these because here's another one. It's in a batch of stuff that was, you know, that kind of came out during the flood. You can kind of tell the flooding stuff. Plays through on these, ruined a bunch of CDs. That kind of thing happens, you know. Saxon, this is a newer Saxon album. Don't know what this sounds like. It's a double disc. Don't remember what this sounds like, but I like Saxon a lot. Denim and Leather. They had a really Where Eagles, Fly to the Eagles or something like that, which is a live album. They're really good heavy metal. They're really good. They're not as good as what I showed yesterday, like Accept. They're better. They're kind of in that Iron Maiden vein. I'm not a big fan of Iron Maiden. I think their music is cartoony and cliche. Speaking of Iron Maiden, this is their famous singer, Bruce Dickinson. I was told that through a friend of mine. A friend of mine gave this to me and said, "Hey, listen to this. I got a couple copies." And then I never listened to it. I need to listen to it because a friend of mine asked me to. He said, "Hey, it's better than that Iron Maiden stuff." And yeah, I need to check it out. This is their singer, Bruce Dickinson, cliche singer. I'm gonna end there. Here's a Soñeros de Verdad. Men of Truth is what that means. Cuban music, it's good.